Carl's review of Sean Spicer's book. Now, remember, reportedly he was shooting a pilot, and everybody's like, who's going to pay for this guy? Some right-wingers just backed a pilot or something, and he's shooting it. He's probably not making any money from it. They could shoot a pilot. They go in a place
is that literally like, Tom Barrack, please.
No,
that sad loser needs a pilot.
It's like this. It's like, hey, man, I'll set you up here and you shoot the pilot in the Majority Report studios. I'll give you, we'll do it for $25,000. I'll bring in people. It'll cost $25,000, the whole thing. I mean, you're not going to get anything, but you'll have a shot. And then we shop that pilot around. So just, the guy's a total loser. And despite the fact that...
Say that again.
I knew somebody would bring it up. Despite the fact that we went to the same undergraduate school, he was mocked mercilessly there, apparently by the college newspaper, which I should also add said that I was a liar.
Support your local media.
So this from the review by Jonathan Karl in the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Spicer has not been well served by the book's fact checkers and copy editors. He refers to the author. So in other words, apparently, maybe they didn't have any fact checkers or copy editors. He refers to the author of the infamous Trump dossier, the Steele dossier, refers to the author as Michael Steele. Some of you may know that Michael Steele is the former chairman of the Republican National Committee, not a British ex-spy.
Hey, man, I started writing intelligence reports. That's how we do in the East Coast.
The guy he meant to say was Christopher Steele. I've worked with Michael Steele. He is no Christopher Steele. Guy doesn't even have a British accent.
He's not a spy hunter.
Not a spy hunter. He recounts a reporter asking Mr. Obama a question at a White House a question at a White House press conference in 1999. As you know, Barack Obama was not elected president until 2008 and would not have served until 2009. So that would have been 10 years either too early.
How to the curve there, white boy.
There are also some omissions, and this is hilarious. I did not know this about Sean Spicer, and it really makes everything make more sense. We've talked a lot about the 2006 election where Democrats came to power in the House, right? And what people don't remember is the number one issue was not the Iraq War. The number one issue that voters said determined their vote as they walked out of the polling place was corruption. Corruption because there was a sense the Republican leadership had lost its way and was covering up for all sorts of corrupt things. One of those things, he writes about working for Representative Mark Foley, Republican from Florida, who he says, quote, knew how to manage the news cycle. And on top of all that, he was good to staff and fun to be around.
After working for Donald Trump, I super miss the pedophile guy.
He never gets around to mentioning that Mr. Foley later resigned in disgrace for sending sexually explicit messages to teenage boys working as congressional pages. That was what the Republican leadership was covering up at the time, and it all came out, and thus 2006. So, Sean Spicer, you, sir, are the winner of this week's or day's Matt Pick. Matt's
that was
pick.
good. That was a good one. You right? Sean Spicer.
Here it is. Hold on.
I want to know what your gut feels like every time you watch that again.
Depends which clip. It reminds me of the intensity of the job.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? Take that again. He could. Did he just like completely forget how to talk?
He had 3 words and he missed all 3 of them right off the bat. It's like Guitar Hero when you just can't get the.
You can't catch up.
Just got to keep going.
I want to know what your gut feels like every time you watch that again.
Depends which clip. It reminds me of the intensity of the job.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? What was the clip? What is he?
They just showed some clips of him being terrible. As
and what was he trying to say?
Depends which clip.
Okay.
Wait, they literally just showed a montage of him messing up?
I want to know what your gut feels like every time you watch that again.
Depends which clip. It reminds me of the intensity of
I'm sorry. Look, I've messed up on TV too, but that's pretty funny.
Oh, it's so petty.
That is Sean Spicer
Can you-
to the
one
power
more
of
time,
Sean
one more
Spicer.
time, because I just try and figure out what.
I want to know what your gut feels like every time you watch that again.
depends which clip. It reminds me of the
Sounds
intensity
like
of the job.
He's saying some like German. Depends coach clip.
This blend could skip.
This is coach clip.
Your gut feels like every time you watch that again.
Come on.
Depends which clip.
Doesn't it sound like it's a German word? There is no English for that word. It's like I have mixed emotions about the various clips. That's what I think.
German for I'm professionally hired liar.
German for professional, highly tense, incompetent liar who misses pedophile boss because last boss was so awful.
All right, let's go to the phones. You're calling from a 929.